So my research focuses on informal transport and active mobility in the global south, because even though billions of people depend on it, I would say that it does not receive due attention by both scholars and policymakers. And I would also say that improving informal transport and active mobility, which means making it safer and more reliable and accessible, is one of the most promising leverage points to address social inequalities, to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from the transport sector, and therefore also to address anthropogenic climate change. So I mostly rely on quantitative and data-driven research methods, including different transport modeling and simulation techniques. For example, for this particular study called MaaS for the Masses, we developed a model to measure transit accessibilities in Metro Manila, the Philippines. This means we calculated and also visualized the distances that people have to cover from their home to access public transport services. And we found that only less than 24% of the Metro Manila population currently live within a distance to the next public transport stop of 500 meters or less, which, by the way, by UN Habitat is considered as walking distance. Nevertheless, we also showed that this percentage can significantly be increased through the integration of informal transport services, for example, minibuses, in the case of the Philippines called jeepneys, as well as both private and shared micromobility. What we therefore conclude in this study is that the integration of different transport modes under MaaS could indeed be a promising strategy to address inequalities with regards to the access to transport systems. One particular challenge when working on transportation topics in the context of the Global South is incomplete or the lack of data. Therefore, one of the advantages of the method and the PTAC tool that we use in this study is that it relies on only 3 data sources. So first, the population raster and household locations, which we obtain through satellite imagery provided by DLR and which is available for all cities worldwide. Second, the street networks, which are usually openly available from OpenStreetMap, for example, for most of the cities at least. And third, the transit stops, which are often provided by transport operators or transport authorities in the form of GTFS datasets. And therefore, our study can basically be replicated in any city that has these 3 datasets available. I would say that receiving feedback is very important for young researchers. However, the review process at top scientific journals often happen to be very time-consuming, and also there are very long lead times at scientific conferences, meaning from the point where you submit an abstract until you can actually present your research. Therefore, the Young Researcher Award is a great opportunity to get this type of feedback. And at the same time, it's also a great way to validate the policy relevance of your research and to disseminate the results. And yeah, therefore, thanks a lot to ITF for this opportunity.